John, occasionally we see magazine articles like last night, one that had your name as Jack Lennon, and all these irregularities. What do you think of this when you look at them?
Well, I just think that people are stupid, if they're not going to bother to take enough, time to do a job and find out what our names are and try and get the facts right, it must be a bit soft.
One other question, there are a lot of people who have albums out with your music on it, like this Chipmunk album and the Boston Pops. Do you find this a credit to you or an abortion of your songs?
No, we enjoy that. We always try and get a copy of these, people that do our songs. Things like the Chipmunks and the Boston, they do it so differently from us and from each other. It's very interesting. And also, Paul and I get a lot of money when they make all these things. It's very good for us,
There is a cut in it for you when they do record these songs.
Yeah, because we compose them, so we get them a good lot of money. Great working with you, Larry.
John, when you were in New York, what did you like best about it?
I just like cities, preferably big ones. That's why I liked it. And we met some good people like Bob Dylan and Joan Baez, and I enjoy meeting people I admire.
What about when you were at the Peppermint Lounge? Did that impress you?
Oh, that was last time.
You like to play better indoors or outdoors?
Indoors, because I don't like playing outdoors. You can't hear anything, you get blown to pieces.
Like last night.
Oh, that was dreadful.
John, it's great working with you.
Great working with you, Larry.
Any particular reason that you chose the songs that you did for the current concerts?
We took a sort of aggregate of the most popular ones in the States over the last couple of months.
Your early songs and your late songs?
Yeah, we missed out a lot of the early ones, can't think of any, but I'm sure we missed some out.
There's so many rumors going around, and one of the jobs I like to do is either to confirm them or dispel them. There's a big rumor in a lot of magazines and papers that you're coming back in January.
Well, I don't know, it might be true. I haven't a clue. Nobody's told me if they are,
And another question I'd like to ask. Everyone asks what you like. Do you like this?
Excuse me.
Do you like this? Or do you like that? What's your pet peeve? What is the thing that you dislike the most in the world?
Having things thrown at us on stage, jelly beans and rubbish and that.
This is your pet peeve in your whole life?
Yeah, because it hurts. And you can't carry on singing and laughing with things hitting you.
Now, I think I've asked you this before, but I'd like to clarify it again. How many other instruments do you play, if you play any?
A bit of piano and a bit of mouth organ.
Have you played the organ, mouth organ, on any of your songs?
Well, there's quite a few we did with mouth organ. I played it on them. The early hits, Please Please Me, From Me to You, Love Me Do, Little Child from the LP. I should have known better from the film. I stuck mouth organ on that.
When you're over here, do you miss England? Do you ever get a little homesick, even though you were achieving great success over here and you're having some good times?
Oh, yeah, you get homesick all right, every other day, only.
And what about, again, the gifts? I notice more and more you've been getting more and more gifts from fans. What was the most unusual gift you've ever received? I know there's so many. Is there ever one that sticks out in your mind?
I once received a bra.
You did?
Yeah, with I Love John embroidered on it. I thought it was pretty original. I didn't keep it, mind. It didn't fit.
How'd you like Key West?
It was all right for a swamp. That wasn't bad,
And when you're out there, you do a lot of the leads on most of the songs. Have you ever had a point during your concerts where you've ever had a loss, a mental block in your head as to what to do next?
Yeah, I'm the one that often gets it. Suddenly go blank and I don't know what I'm singing or playing or anything, I just forget and they've all got to sort of tell me what's happening.
Well, if it has happened, I haven't noticed it. You mentioned these jelly beans and everything. Does it hamper your work? Besides making you frightened of the fact that it might hit your eye or something, does it hamper your work?
Yeah, you can't play if they keep hitting you, you keep stopping because it's natural, you sort of duck, and you stop playing. But it's been quite good, it's stopped now. So I suppose we should stop talking about it.
Here's a question. A lot of people would think it kind of ridiculous to ask entertainers this, but I'm going to because a lot of people are interested in your opinion. So much of these world conflicts going on, everybody's fighting each other. What would be your personal solution to stopping war What way or method?
I don't think there is one, you know. Not if everybody was all rich and happy and each country had all they wanted, they'd still want the next bit. I don't think there'll ever be any solution. Only just, you know, a sort of power block where everybody's got the same weapons.
Does it ever tire you to answer these same questions over and over at press conferences? You ought to have a list out and just read them before they start.
No, because, I mean, even though that sometimes they do know the answer, they want to hear you say it or want to sort of confirm something and see you say it rather than from a report they've read, you know.
There was a big rumor out around the country, as you know, there's so many rumors, about Ringo having a throat operation. And this was cleared up last night with his tonsil bit.
Yeah, he's having his tonsils out when we get back to Britain, I think, or after the British tour.
Has there ever been one rumor that's particularly peeved you?
Me leaving the group and my wife being pregnant, that's the one.
You mean having a baby next month?
Yeah, all the time.
And just a few more. You know, there's been a lot of criticism by Americans of the fact, American DJs in particular, the fact that there are so many groups that are coming out that have no originality from England that are all trying to copy you. Now, we know there's a handful that are really doing very well over here, as well as you.
Yeah.
Does it ever bother you that certain groups will copy you completely in whatever you do?
No, because everybody knows, you know, only the dumbest people don't know that they're copying us, you know, so it's just a laugh when you just see a big imitation of you going around. They never really make it. They might have a hit, but nobody's fooled for long.
Has anybody ever asked you for advice? Another group, let's say.
Younger groups, you know, that are just sort of forming, but there's no advice, you know, you can give, really. Just keep playing and hope for the best.
I notice you have this guitar with you, and I notice you strum it quite a bit. Where do you get your ideas for songs? Do you ever get them sitting in a dressing room or in a hotel room, or just, is it a planned session, or do you just come across an idea?
No, I just come across one that could happen any minute. Now, you see, like that.
Have you written any on this current tour?
2.
You don't have the names or anything like that?
I know the names, but we don't give them because people turn out songs of the same name, you know.
I'm not that familiar with the music business myself.
Well, that's what happens. You think of a name that's original, and you broadcast it, and somebody will make a record with the same name, different song, and it gets confusing, you know.
When you first came over to this country in February, and I met you briefly in Miami, when you first came over here, were you shocked by the reaction? Were you worried about your reaction over here personally, the crowds and everything else?
Well, we never expected anybody we didn't expect to sell records or anything over here, so we were just amazed, and we still are, you know.
And is the American market, was the American market your main goal after conquering England?
Yeah, well, every British artist used to imagine trying to you'd get the odd hit from Britain, or you get the odd hit from Germany, say it was like freak records, but nobody ever sort of made it in America, and we were dying to be the first.
I know there was a record here of I Want to Hold Your Hand in German, I think, yeah. Or She Loves You, one or the other.
Both of them, both.
Have you done them in any more languages, other languages?
No, the Germans are the only ones that won't buy you in English. You have to kowtow to the Germans, or after you've made a couple of records, they'll buy anything. That's mine. Somebody just pinching my Coca-Cola. Oh.
And, you know, this afternoon we had quite an experience. I don't know if you heard about it, but we tried to arrange to get back here tonight for our little session, and the police refused to listen to Derek Taylor and said that no matter what he said, nobody could come back. And this reminds me of this vast bigness of security sometimes. I know the police generally have done a great job on this current tour. But what do you think personally about some of them trying to get autographs and sort of going out of the line of duty? You know, you've seen so many of them come back in the plane, and it's like, to me, and this may be a little strong, we can cut this out if you want. To me, it may be a little strong, but it's sort of a bribe. What do you think of this?
Well, some of the police do sort of bribe, you know, you sign this or we don't help you, but most of them are just normal fellas. You get sort of lousy people in any organisation. You get a couple of lousy cops who sort of threaten you, or not threaten you with violence, but sort of unless you sign me 80 of these, I'm not going to look after you. But no, they're no worse than any people in any organisation. You get bums everywhere.
Now, this is your first tour that you've actually seen all of America, and up to now you've seen just about every section. Off your role as a performer, what do you think of America as a country, the cities and the land and the people?
I think it's marvellous, I like it, especially places like New York and Hollywood, I like the big places. And it's amazing to see the way they built like a place like Las Vegas. Whoever thought of building a place in the middle of a desert, things like that are marvellous.
The reason I asked you is just like as if I went over to England, which I'd like to do, and see it. I'm always interested in what a person feels about this country, and you're probably the most publicized people visiting this country right now. Do you ever have any differences on stage or off stage?
Off stage are the same differences that normal people have or friends have, but they're never violent or they never last long. They're always settled by argument,
Everybody says you're going to break up. This is another rumor. It's all over.
It's a lot of rubbish, it's just rubbish, and we'd never even thought of it.
And, we're reading those fan magazines, and I plan to show you a few more because some of them are unbelievable.
Yeah.
I don't know who prints them. I know you laughed when you saw the name Jack Lennon in the page the other night, and I laughed too. Have you ever has it ever really bugged you that they get your name wrong? Really, really bugged you?
No, I've never. It's always made me laugh when people get my name wrong. Like there's one DJ today said, well, this is so-and-so from so-and-so station talking to John Harrison here. And I just creased up, but I never told him, he found out himself at the end. But it's just funny, if you can't get your name right, well, God help him, that's what I say.
You talked yesterday about outdoor performances and indoor. I noticed the other night, even though you had that 40-mile-an-hour or 30-mile-an-hour wind in Jacksonville, I don't know if you knew it was that high.
Felt like 100-mile-an-hour one to me.
You still didn't have any trouble getting out the song. You try to acclimate yourself to this, or did it really bother you the other night?
Yeah, well, we've never been through a thing like that. We were most sort of awkward, but all our hair was blowing up. We all looked like 4 Elvis Presleys or something. We just felt uncomfortable with all that wind.
John, thank you very much. It's been nice working with you.
Great working with you, Larry.